Under fire from Max Verstappen, Johnny Herbert stands firm. The FIA steward denies any bias, claiming he's fair and impartial on race days. What did he say? Stay tuned to find out. Welcome to Formula Every Day. Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell for more updates. Johnny Herbert hits back at Max Verstappen's bias claims post-Brazil GP. FIA steward Johnny Herbert has recently dismissed accusations of bias following critical comments made by Max Verstappen, who suggested that he was treated unfairly at the recent Mexican Grand Prix. Verstappen, the Dutch racing star and three-time world champion, has been vocal in his critique of Formula One's governing body, particularly in light of recent penalties. Herbert, who served as a steward at both the Mexican and Brazilian Grands Prix, was involved in decisions that imposed two 10-second penalties on Verstappen in Mexico and a 5-second penalty in Brazil due to a virtual safety car incident. In Mexico, Herbert's post-race remarks included pointed criticism of Verstappen's aggressive racing style. He suggested that Verstappen might benefit from a more measured approach, especially given the fierce on-track rivalry with McLaren's Lando Norris. This criticism didn't sit well with Verstappen's camp. Verstappen's father, Jos, took issue with Herbert's public comments, arguing that stewards should remain silent and focus exclusively on their duties. In response, Herbert defended his position, emphasizing his ability to separate his stewarding role from his role as a racing commentator. Speaking to safest betting sites, Herbert said, "I'm Johnny Herbert, the steward on race weekends, but at other times, I'm a pundit with my own opinions. I believe in giving honest feedback, and I've been in this sport for 50 years. If I disagree with what's happening on the track, I'll say so." Herbert pointed out that he wasn't alone in his assessment of Verstappen's actions in Mexico. Lando Norris and Zak Brown also felt Max's driving was too aggressive, he said. "This isn't about singling out Max. I'll call out any driver if I believe it's justified." Herbert made it clear that while he respects Jos's position as a father, he stands by his right to comment when not on official duty. "Everyone has opinions," Herbert continued. "People like Martin Brundle share theirs. So why can't I when I'm not actively stewarding?" He noted that the distinction between his roles is crucial, as his comments on race incidents outside stewarding weekends should be seen as personal insights rather than official judgments. Herbert also hinted that he understands Jos Verstappen's protective stance. "If someone was criticizing my family member, I might feel similarly," he acknowledged. But Jos himself has often spoken out about issues within Red Bull, so it's not unusual for people in the sport to be outspoken when it comes to their loved ones. In recent years, the presence of social media and increased access to behind-the-scenes commentary has fueled public interest in off-track drama. As Herbert highlighted, it's natural for people to want to know what's going on, and I think it's healthy for the sport to have open, honest dialogue. With 3 races left in the season, Verstappen's recent win in Interlagos has strengthened his championship lead, putting him 62 points ahead of Norris. This buffer all but assures him of the title, lessening the sting of recent penalties and criticism. Despite these disputes, Herbert remains steadfast, underlining his professionalism and impartiality as a steward. He's adamant that his role is to enforce rules fairly, regardless of personal views, and that any comments he makes outside of race weekends reflect only his personal take on the sport. In our view, the recent clash between Max Verstappen and FIA steward Johnny Herbert underscores a growing tension within Formula One around fairness, accountability, and outspoken personalities. Herbert, a veteran in motorsport, finds himself in the spotlight after Verstappen accused him of bias following recent penalties. Herbert's response highlights his commitment to maintaining professionalism on race weekends while still sharing his personal views off track. His comment suggests that his observations are meant as constructive criticism rather than targeted bias, especially given that others within the F1 community, like Lando Norris and Zak Brown, shared similar opinions on Verstappen's driving in Mexico. This incident also reflects a larger cultural shift in Formula One, where drivers, stewards, and teams are more willing to publicly express their views, thanks to increased media coverage and fan engagement. Herbert's response shows a determination to balance his role as a steward with his right to speak openly as a pundit, a line that has become increasingly blurred in the sport. As F1 continues to grow globally, These kinds of disputes may well become more frequent, but they also provide fans with a more transparent, complex picture of the sport's inner workings. What do you think about this situation? Do you believe that stewards like Johnny Herbert should have the freedom to share their opinions outside of official duties, or should they remain impartial at all times? Share your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let us know in the comments what your opinion.
See you soon.